let me say, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what side you stand on, but if you take the out of Africa theory, you kind of got to take the people come from monkeys theory too. And everybody got to, everybody don't like that. So that's where I'm starting off with it.
You would start off with the highs real quick, huh?
Is that is that is that too much? Listen, ain't old girl. I gotta pull something up right quick. My bad. Cause I kind of do. Cause I ain't talked about that fight yet.
You haven't talked about Alabama, the Montgomery brawl.
Not on here. And I just want to pull something up right quick. All right, so this is I think the fight happened August 7th or August 5th.
Around there. Yeah.
Donald Trump was in Montgomery August 4th, the day before, at the Renaissance Hotel. Ain't Renaissance like a rebellion or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, this is like Barack Obama's birthday, August 3rd, too. So the two presidents got the most to do with race in the recent years, right? The black president and then they say this guy's a racist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he was just happened to be in that same city, right? And then if you look at the fight, it's at a dock, which come to find out this is like a slave port.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of weird shit.
It's a lot of coincidences.
Yeah, a lot of coincidence. Because it's 58, it was 58 years after the March in Selma.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump won the 58th presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
That's another crazy coincidence.
And then they didn't want to move the boat for the Harriet Tubman boat that was coming in. It's like a lot of.
That was the name of the boat? Really?
Yeah, the Harriet
Jesus.
Tubman.
Oh my God. See, I didn't know that.
So, was it staged? Dum, dum, dum. I don't know.
I said that on my Facebook and I got immediately cussed.
I mean, it's too many coincidentals for it to be in a coincidental situation. That's all I'm saying.
The crazy part to me was the hat getting thrown in the air at the very beginning.
So when I throw mine, just say, if I throw my hat, y'all know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we know now, but who the hell knew that was the bat signal before then? It was like a one-on-one fight.
Then you got the little 14 or 15-year-old river boy who jumped across and it was a lot in that. So
I'm gonna play this song because this song is freaking hilarious. But yeah, I don't want to show the video, but I will play this song because this song is hilarious. This shit is crazy.
Lego, hey, I'm really proud of y'all. Montgomery Brawl, bitch. Not one but them all. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out bro that can swim. Montgomery Brawl. Salute shit, really all of them. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out Unc with the chair. Montgomery Brawl. Everybody that was there. Montgomery Brawl. Threw the hat off at the start. Montgomery Brawl. Woo. Man, shout out to the guard. Montgomery Brawl. Hey, now y'all done started some shit, so we gon' finish y'all it. Did. And this time, everybody about to witness it. Y'all. Bro told them to move, just doing this job. Really? But y'all wanted to jump him, so now we got a prize. Let's get it. All right, bet. Let me tell y'all what really happened. Heard they was jumping on my cousin, let me off, Captain. Cuz came out the water like, let's get it cracking. Unc came with the chair like I got some action. Cuz came no shirt like I got Sebastian. I got him. Even the women getting hit like, damn, what happened? Hey, this shit was kind of lit like, damn, it's cracking. I even seen a rock bottom like, damn, this wrestling. Seen a couple of them boys go night-night. And we got the first black man to swim to a fight. Salute. If you mad at this song, don't mention me. Don't do it. But fuck that chair going down in history. Hey, I'm really proud of y'all. Montgomery Brawl. Bitch. Not one but them all. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out bro that can swim. Montgomery Brawl. Salute shit, really all of them.
Shout out bro that can swim.
And the Montgomery Brawl.
Shoot. I'm
I
trying
heard
to
that
see
story.
where
Actually, like it's kind of funny because like the Montgomery brawl happened one day, and then the next day it was like chair necklaces, chair earrings, chair.
Yes.
It was like everything was already like already. I'm like, where did all this chair shit start coming from? Like it just happened like yesterday. So 24 hours later, y'all already own it?
I already own it. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I think well I seen it. I think I seen it like as soon as it happened. And then like a few days went by and then it just blew up.
Yeah.
When I first seen it, I don't think a lot of people had seen it yet. Somebody just posted it on their Facebook and I seen it. And I was like, hey, he wrong for hitting that lady with that chair. I was laughing at that. The police
I have no comment.
The police didn't want to arrest him, but they was like, well, goddamn, man. And she's sitting on the ground and you hit her with a chair. We gotta take you to jail. They didn't want to lock him up.
Shit, her ass was out there swinging. She should have never been swinging. You shouldn't have never brung your little woman in behind over here with all these grown men. That's why you got bopped like a grown man. You should have been over there with the women and chilling. You feel me? You was in the wrong spot. You wanted to be grown.
Even if she was standing up, I wouldn't have said it.
She was in there swinging. That's the thing. I didn't feel sorry for Karen. She was swinging. She got her little licks in or what have you. So, hey, bop, go to weasel upside your head with that chair. You got what you deserved. I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't have been out there on that dock with them grown men. You should have been up there at the top taking video cameras like the rest of everybody was doing.
Yeah. I'm a guy, you're a girl, so
yeah, I was about to say, but I'm a female, so
yeah, I can't say
it. I'll say it for you, bopper.
Okay, well, we got this man, so this big debate, right, was supposed to happen. Let me show y'all the flyer right quick. Hold on. This is a debate. HOK and Welcome to Big Leagues presents, are Black people Aboriginal Americans or Africans? So this is a big debate, right? And if you just follow the school narrative, yeah, they basically try to paint it like all Black people came from Africa. Well, maybe put it like this: all people come from Africa. The debate is deep. This is the origin of humanity. All right. So with that being said, like I said, man, if you take the out of Africa theory, you're gonna have to take the we come from monkeys theory too.
Mm-hmm.
It's evolution, they call it. All right, so we got the big dog, Dane Calloway, right? He pulls up to, this is the biggest conscious channel on the YouTube, right? Sinetta TV. And they've been trying to get Dane on here because Dane is like, yo, he's basically debunking the out of Africa theory. And they've been trying to get Dane on there. They're offering him $5,000 and then offering him $10,000. They really want to debunk this man because a lot of these people who are on here, right, these so-called Africans, let me show you, they are down with the boule. All right, so they have a reason to keep this out of Africa theory and this out of just all Black people came from Africa, we was all slaves and all this shit. They're hiding something. Show y'all once again, this Griffin's putting his paw over this urn is telling you I'm hiding a secret. I'm keeping a secret from you. All right, so with that being said, let's dive into it.
Got the legendary Top Cat in the building. Top Cat, what it is, brother?
Hey, hold on, yeah, I want to say it. Sorry, can you hear me?
I hear you, brother. I can hear you.
All right, yeah. Now I'm checking y'all out on the numbers. Man, this is a heavyweight fight. This is a heavyweight fight. So today coming through, far as the Indians and Aboriginal paradigm, bro, we're gonna be so deep. I'm looking at, man, I think we can fuck around and get 10,000 tickets sold. Real talk, because we gonna bring Indians out the woods, man.
Y'all think StreamYard can handle that many tickets, man?
Dane Calloway and Top Cat. And then y'all,
and then you got Jabari and Rob Bourne.
That's gonna be crazy, bro.
Yeah.
We may be
Especially
reaching
if you get-
the tune, but I think
Especially
we
if you get Umar.
Trying to debate me. Umar backed out.
Oh, did he?
So
Yeah, he
I got
did.
Dane Calloway on
Oh,
your show
wait a
right
minute. Dane is in here.
now. So I
Yeah, I'm
got
in here.
Dane Calloway
Number
on
one,
your show
Nietzsche.
They didn't even notice Dane came in the building. Look how they turn up when Dane come in.
right now, man.
Number one, Nietzsche is in the house.
Yeah, I'm in here, man.
Number one, Nietzsche is in the house.
Now, you can't say that no more. Top Cat ain't there. I got Dane Calloway on your panel. You
Look,
wanted him, I
what
got him
Top Cat
right
done
here
pulled
on
off, man. Look at us. Oh, man.
Shout out to Top Cat, man. Shout out to Top
Shout
Cat
out.
for bringing in the Dame in the building. Shout out to both of these
Yeah.
legends, man. You know, Dame said he spoke to me years ago, but you know, it's a different animal, man.
I don't care what he is,
To me,
man.
I know you are the best when it comes to this field right here. So even though they say Jabari beat Ali, the question is still out there. Now they saying he haven't taken on one of the real brothers. We are faced with the same thing, and Jabari.
Oh, my bad. Y'all, I'm trying to get to the information. This little intro is going kind of long. Shit.
I was trying to figure it out, friend. I'm about to be like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, no. I didn't even realize that it's gonna take a little minute for them to start asking Dane questions. I'm telling you, it's been a while. I would say about 5 years they've been trying to get him on the show, and he finally pulled up. You know what I'm saying? So they got to get their little intros and whatever out the way. But we about to get right into it because they got questions.
This is this here. I can go to my DNA. I can go to
There
Ancestry.com.
we go.
Dame don't believe in DNA, brother.
Well, I'm just saying, I can go to it and I can see my great-grandmother had to get a registration ID as one of the 5 civilized tribes, Cherokee. I can see that. But also, I can see my mother on her father's side is L3E5 coming right out of Negro land, right out of Sierra Leone, of the Timney people. My history is full, goes back.
They done called me
I try to get an old man a chance. Shit, yeah. It's slow ass question.
a goddamn molester, 33 years old, messing with a goddamn little girl. They done made up all kind of stuff for Sarnetta. And you don't see me running, ducking. I go on any platform and break it down. Everybody ain't made like me, man. I told you, man. A lot of niggas can't walk in my shoes. Y'all would have been tore down.
Nah,
If I was
Rob
weak,
just
We really cool, man. It ain't that. Say,
All right, let's skip this, man. Because I want to get to this damn Indian shit. My bad, y'all. Let's do this. All right, so that debate I was telling you about, it actually already happened, y'all. I paid the $30 to watch it, and I said, damn, I already seen this.
You did what?
I paid $30. I think it was like July something.
Friend,
Yes,
I'm about
man.
to come over there and take your phone. Don't you do that no more.
I paid $30 to support a black business and two
Okay, take it then.
two black scholars who's giving, you know what I'm saying? What else am I supposed to watch? P Valley?
Listen,
You get
We not
$30 to
even-
watch P Valley,
I haven't even watched P Valley. Like,
but you know what
I
I'm
just don't
saying.
feel like it's made for real niggas. I'm sorry.
No, it can't be. 'Cause I'm a real nigga.
I'm
I don't watch
sorry.
that shit.
And I'm a female and I can't even get into it. I'll be like, what is
We was
okay.
watching they clone Tyrone.
Now I can rock with that. I can rock with that.
The person I was watching with was like, "Is that such and such from P Valley?" I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't watch P
I
Valley.
don't know.
I don't watch P Valley, but that's what I'm saying though. I you know, people will pay $30 to watch P Valley. Like I'm gonna pay $30 for some educational stuff. These brothers is, and nobody else is talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Because
I understand. I'm right here with you, friend.
where do people come from? Where do black people come from? Where do white people come from? It's a good question.
You would pick me to be the one to sit here and have. Okay.
Go ahead, give me your theory?
We are I don't even know how to say this, because like this like that's been one of the biggest conversations in the Black nation. That's what I would call it.
Mhm.
A colored nation, low key. You know what I mean? Like when we all at the barbecue or in the crib, you know, minding our business. We ain't in the presence of other people, you know. And I
Yeah.
have to say it like that because our conversations get a little bit more deeper than what people think that we are actually, our educational level would allow us to be able to have these kind of conversations. At the end of the day, I don't feel like we're all from Africa. We are not all African tribes. I feel like once certain ones was brung over here, you know, from their actual native land, we
Mhm.
then detached. So that means our ways was no longer our ways. You know what I'm saying? Like we was taught other things. So when people say our ancestors or what have you, like mine's go back to Indian, Jamaican, European. Like it's a lot of, I'm mixed with a lot of different things. Irish and some more stuff. So I can't sit here and say we all come from, if that was the case, then we wouldn't all have these many nationalities. Like if we say we are an image of the creator and the creator has no nationality, you know what I mean? Like he's everything. Like there's not one thing that he isn't, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
this is going to be debated for all of eternity, you know what I mean? So I just say we all are descendants of the creator. Now, where we actually come from, it does not matter, because at the end of the day, we all gonna have some type of DNA or some type of bloodline that's gonna link us somewhere where we
Yeah.
didn't think we was. You know what I mean? So
Let me say this. It shouldn't matter, but it does matter because what they're trying to do, and what I don't think Jabari realized or Shanetta realized, is that it's scientific racism.
yeah,
And
they're
that's
trying
what
to
we trying
colonize
to
everyone.
that's what we try to point out, because if you look at the evolution chart, at the end of it, you start with a monkey, and then the end of it is a white man. And they're like,
But
oh,
that's funny.
and they say it's a missing link. Well, guess who's the missing link? Is your black ass.
Yeah, because then they say we come from monkeys, but the first human skull that was found, aka Lucy, was of a black person. It wasn't.
That's a monkey. I'm
It's
sorry. That's a
it's a
monkey.
monkey.
That's a monkey.
You know what?
Bones don't even last that long. Bones, the longest a bone will last is like 120,
Well, you got to
120
think
years.
about it. They say that's
These people be capping a lot.
crazy. You can say that, but at the same time, you can't say that, because if people live to be 800 to 1,000, damn near 1,000 years old, how long does bones really actually last?
See, but then all I gotta do is say, prove that people live to be 800 years old.
I mean, it's biblical. There's
How,
things in the
how
Bible
do
where
you how do you prove the Bible outside the Bible?
I mean, you can't, because the Bible is pretty much speculations and, you know, perspectives of what things other people have saw or heard. You know what I mean?
So
So
I can't debate speculation. You see what I'm saying? If I gotta prove the Bible by going to the Bible, then you gonna win every time. You know what I'm saying?
yes and no, but I see your point.
Something outside the Bible was gonna have to verify the Bible.
Yeah, you can. There's things, right? You breathing right now outside the Bible. You're breathing. So that's something outside of the Bible. The fact that you woke up, that you're able to eat, you have the ligaments, the fundamentals, you have the brain waves. This is stuff that's not in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? You are living outside
Right.
the Bible.
All right.
So you do have examples that you don't have to go to the Bible to be able. You can use the Bible as a resource, as something to as receipts to back up your evidence.
But
But you
even if
study
the Bible
it,
didn't even if the Bible didn't exist, I still will be breathing. I still will be eating.
yeah, you would, but it wouldn't have. You probably wouldn't have. Um, you wouldn't have anything to go off of, but what others have given. That's a.
I think
I'm
all
trying
this stuff. See, I think all this stuff is connected. Like when you go back to the origins of stuff, like the
because
origins
it is. It
of
is connected.
rulership.
It's one big puzzle. It's just that everybody has different puzzle pieces that you got to put together. You got to link up with other people that you think that you're not supposed to link up with, and get that other puzzle piece because it all
Right.
goes together.
I feel that. I feel that. I'm saying, I even think this slavery conversation. I think the Bible always come up into the slavery conversation because, that was one of the tools used to take over the world, basically.
Yeah, because they use the Bible as a weapon. That's the reason why when people refer things back to the Bible, I be like, okay, in what way are you taking this? Because people can the way that Bible works, people can use it as a weapon, or they can use it as a weapon or a tool to make themselves seem like whatever they're doing, like,
Pimps use the Bible.
we're not going there. Because
I'm just saying though, pimps use scriptures from the Bible to manipulate
like
young.
women should obey their husbands, but the key word is husbands.
I'm just saying, I know a lot of pimps that know off top of their head.
That's because half of I used to pimp. So back in the day, half of us went to church. Grandmamas and half of us that really do this whole spiritual thing. It's not like we just woke up one morning and was like, oh, I'm just gonna be spiritual. No, we was taught this, and then as we got older, we started seeing the difference in what was really what. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to slavery. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm saying, even look at just the outer appearance of a pimp, and then take a pastor. I've said they're using the same tools, right, to manipulate people to get money from them. And mostly this is a male dominated.
I'm just gonna say, the way church is now, it is a pimp and hoe industry.
I think what is the oldest profession?
Selling pussy.
Yes. So I'm saying this stuff is old and ancient.
That was out when Jesus was he didn't marry Magdalene. She was,
Yeah, it's the oldest profession. So I'm saying
it's been out since, pimping and hoeing been out since before Jesus.
Right. And I just like to put everything together. Like, all right, prostitution is the oldest profession. And then pimps come along. Well, pimps is a lot like pastors. And me and you both know that men wrote the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's inspired by God, but so was a lot of Langston Hughes literature. You know what I'm saying? So was Roots was inspired by God. You can say anything inspired by God. Back That Thing Up was inspired by God.
You know what? No, we're not going. Not gonna keep putting God in this. We're not gonna keep doing it to him.
I'm just putting it through the logical ringer.
Right. Okay.
Stuff got to make logical sense to me. That's how I deal with this. That's how I debate. I debate people on for logic. Like this, what you're saying.
That is not gonna be. There's nothing really. Nothing really logical about this.
About slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at this then. Let's take a logical look at this. What is that?
That is in fact a boat.
That's a slave ship, right? We got people piled on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
They said they defecating on top of each other, urinating. They said if you
Mhm.
survive this, you got some good DNA, you got some good genes. You tough. You survive this. They don't tell you it take 3 months to sail over here.
And sometimes it took longer.
And yeah, it's the Atlantic. The worst ocean to sail is the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you about the Pacific slave trade, where all the
Oh.
so-called Indians come from.
Because they want you to make it seem like it only came from one direction instead of all directions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. And all these, so this is virtually impossible to have all these people on a boat and sail across a voyage that takes 3 months. And then if you know, people gotta have water like every 3 days, fresh
Mhm.
water. You can't drink ocean water.
Mm-mm.
It got salt in it.
So there's the reason why people were dying.
Everybody would die if there's no water. If you gotta go 3 months with no water, there's no way to put no water on this boat.
I'm pretty sure they had barrels, or they had ways for them to stop or what have you. But even when they did stop at certain docks, they had to drop bodies off. There was no way that they could carry that many people. Like they kept making it seem like they were carrying. They wasn't transporting. All those people didn't make it. I'm sorry. They just didn't. So
If you run a business, right?
mhm.
Would you sign up for a business where half of your cargo is gonna get demolished? It's gonna be worth nothing.
Hell no.
Okay, I'm saying if slavery was a business, no smart businessman would do this.
No, not a realistic one.
Logically thinking.
Yeah, no. But it was some that wanted to test that theory though. So we can't knock everybody and say not everybody had that logical thinking type because they didn't. You know what I mean?
No, men think logically. No smart businessman is gonna do this, pay all this money for these slaves just for half of them to fucking die. Nobody would do this. All right.
Why they kept certain black people to be able to give them certain insight on certain things, because we was the logical thinkers for them. They wasn't thinking logically.
Okay, okay. I don't think nobody
You
would
gotta
do
think
it.
about it. There was certain black folks that was actually out there getting other niggas into slavery. You see what I'm saying? So those are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the actual,
Okay,
Caracasses.
that's black people. Okay, I got that. That's cool. And I ain't even gonna argue that. Well, I just want to move on to the next point. Then.
Okay.
Let's dig a little deeper.
All right.
How many slaves came to this part of the Americas, North America, where we at now?
So we need to count.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the business. These people are keeping count. If I got a profitable business, I'm gonna keep records of this stuff.
Right, there's an inventory.
Inventory, yes. They did. They know how many so-called African slaves came to this continent, North America. And it was only like 388,000.
But was that from one direction or was that from all four corners?
This is the transatlantic slave trade. Now, the people who came from the Pacific slave trade, these are the Indian looking, you know what I'm saying, what we know as the mainstream Indian looking people. The Mongoloid looking people.
Respect. Yeah.
Okay, so they was picking cotton too.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the Pacific slave trade. Okay, but as far as the transatlantic slave trade, only 388,000 people, Africans. They don't say black Africans, they say Africans.
Right, because there's a difference.
There's a difference. I'm glad you said that.
Because people act like there's not a difference, which actually goes along with that everybody's not from Africa. Sorry.
Okay.
Not everybody roots is gonna go back to Africa.
Well,
Some people
even
is gonna go back to Egypt. Some of them is gonna go back to somewhere in Hebrew, Jerusalem, like some.
I'm glad you said it. Because what African, these is words people are making up too. We gotta take that into account too. These is words people is just making up. You know, they probably mean something. Well, they mean something etymologically,
Mm-hmm.
right? So African, we take the word African, right? Used of white residents of Africa from 1815. Then it was used of black residents of the U.S. from the 18th century.
Keywords keep saying black. It's making it very specific.
Well, see, they say use of the white residents of Africa from 1815.
So
White.
if we have white Africans, why aren't they still just called Africans?
See, that's the little trick bag they throw in it. They'll say Africans came from African slaves. They don't really never really say black Africans or white Africans. They'll put it on the movies and shit to show that you did. And that's why I had an argument with my homeboy. Like, man, why do you think they make slave movies every fucking year, bro?
Every year?
They're trying to drive it into your head that you was a slave because you really wasn't.
Nah.
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. Like some of them, like my grandmother, right? She picked cotton, but she wasn't a slave.
Right.
It's just part of the Mississippi trademark where
Yep.
most of them still pick cotton, even though they wasn't slaves. It was still part of business. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Well, my daddy can still got the story of, well, when I was 7 years old, I was in Sunflower, Mississippi picking cotton. But daddy, you wasn't a slave.
Mm-hmm.
You could have went to the fish industry. You could have went to a different market, but you just decided to stay in the cotton field because it cost, like picking cotton was way more. It was worth more. You feel me?
Cotton was the main industry in America at the time. It was
right.
King Cotton. It was big. So why
Y'all
wouldn't
was
you be in that?
brainwashed into believing certain things. This is the reason why even when Texas was done, when they finally became part of actually ending the freeing the slaves on June 19th, aka Juneteenth. People didn't even know that they was free. They was still out here picking and still out here working and plucking like ain't nothing.
Yes.
They had to keep going like y'all can go, like y'all free. They like
people don't never pause.
Don't know nothing else.
People don't never pause on that point. Why did these people know that they were slaves?
How did you know you was a slave? And how did you not know that you was free?
And Harriet Tubman had a quote said, I freed 1,000 slaves. I would have freed 1,000 more if they knew they were slaves. How did these people not know they were slaves?
Exactly.
Because they was working a job. The story of the transatlantic slave trade don't come until after slavery is over. It's like 1860, 1870s.
Some of the great, or some of the storytellings, it don't add up. How things came about, everything just don't add up. Like, well, this was going on during this time, so how was that able to even occur when that was going on? Or you had this going on at the same time on these borders, so why is it? Like my dad, he was like, how is slavery still coming in through Boston? And I was like, Dad, like that's a part of, they all had their own treaties. Like it wasn't just coming in from one direction. It was coming in from all four corners. So even in the North, they were still selling slaves in certain part of the North while they was all trying to get to the North to be free. They were still selling them.
Now that North and South, because the Civil War, it played a big part in this, and Abraham Lincoln. It get kind of, I get kind of crazy with that story about the Civil War and shit. So I don't want to go into that.
No, please don't, because I'm right there with you. I'd be like, wait a minute, hold up. Okay, yeah, skip.
Yeah, because it's some weird shit with Abraham Lincoln. If you even look at, I'm gonna pull this up too. But
We said we were gonna talk. We gonna talk about it because I swear.
I'm gonna pull this up too because history always repeats itself, right?
Like
So
a mug.
we got Lincoln and then Kennedy. These niggas got so much similarities. They like 100 years apart. There you go. Both Lincoln and Kennedy were concerned with civil rights. Lincoln was the president in 1860, Kennedy in 1960. Both were slain on a Friday and in the presence of their wives. Both were shot behind and in the head. Their successors, both named with Johnson, were Southern Democrats and were both in the Senate. All right, Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson. If you take both their names, they both got the same amount of letters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole bunch of shit. The names John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald each contain 15 letters. Both assassins were killed before being brought to trial. All right. Lincoln's secretary, whose name was Kennedy, advised him not to go to the theater. Kennedy's secretary, whose name was Lincoln, advised him not to go to Dallas. So I'm like, it's a whole lot in history. And I mean, it could be a coincidence, man, but I don't really believe in coincidences like that.
I'm still people call.
Your mic going out. I don't know what happened. Your mic went out. So yeah, you gotta, if you want to look at this stuff, man, you gotta put it in timeline too, because 1790, that's when cotton hit. And cotton was a motherfucker, man. Supply and demand. Demand was through the roof. All right, so yeah, let's get to this.
And dark skin come from the phenotypes of the people who are currently calling themselves Mayans, Native Americans, and other groups. So when you go to the epigraphy, you can do an eyeball test, because if eyeball test shows you people with dark skin and nappy hair, that's genetics. And you can't take the current people and make that over any time period. You can't do it. It's impossible. All right. I think I'll show for the first time why we even have nappy hair. Who even knows why we have nappy hair? All right, you're gonna be surprised why we have nappy hair when we look at it epigenetically and through positive eugenics, and why others have straight hair, or why hominids were hairy. There's a reason why all of them went extinct, and it has everything to do with their hair. So Jabari, he's a good brother. He works at Cornell, I think. But he is utterly unprepared to deal with someone like me. It's impossible. I've studied him periodically. Back when I did my last discussion with him, I'm probably about 80% better. That was 20% of where I am now.
Whoa, y'all hear
So,
that talk? Y'all hear that talk? Ali talking that talk.
So, Jabari, he's a good brother. He works at Cornell, I think. But he is utterly unprepared to deal with someone like me.
Damn.
It's impossible.
I told you, Jabari, be careful, bro.
I've studied him periodically. Back when I did my last discussion.
I'm here, Rick James. What's up, brother? Talk to me, man. Hit the link, brother.
With him, I'm probably about 80% better. That was 20% of where I am now. So in the history and genetics,
it said Jesus had hair that was white like wool. Let me tell you why. This is easy. Oh, that's the atomic bomb. We got to keep that up here. We could get rid of this stuff. This is easy, right? This is why they said Jesus had hair white like wool. It didn't say. Yeah. Go get the quote. Get the quote. Get the scripture. Get it from the KJV. Yeah, the KJV. This is why they said Jesus had hair white like wool. All right. It's because it tells you in the Bible Jesus is the Lamb of God. Right? It's Aries. It's for Aries. White like wool, full of feet of bronze, and it's not even describing a human being, bro. It's describing the Lamb of God. It's not a history book. It's a spiritual book. When you treat it like a history book, you might as well, you know what I used to do in high school with my history books? I used to come home, take my book bag, throw it on the bed, it'll bounce on the bed and then bounce on the ground. That's what I care about history books. But would I do that to my spiritual books? No way. If you treat your spiritual books like history books, you'll be out here fighting wars like Israel. And that's real.
you can't even formulate an idea. You think you can. All right. So the law is important too. And that is going to be discussed. Why? Because you're not legally an African. You're not.
What?
You're not legally African. And the political model that is.
Yeah, Caesar Borgia, the town for that's funny. Yeah, he's a hippie, man. Free flowing hippie, bro.
Being offered by Pan-Africans or the African Union or African states can do nothing for their people or you. Nothing. You can go on tours to the pyramids. Lastly, I'll be able to show that pyramid building started here in North America, in Mexico. Mexico is not in Central America, it's in North America. And that the largest pyramid in the world is in Mexico. It is. The oldest pyramid in the world is in Mexico. It is. And that the mathematics to build the pyramid is directly tied to a spherical earth and understanding the magnetic pole and the North Pole. And that the various pyramids were not built when they believed that they said they were built. Now this can go into a lot of facets like linguistics and other things, but
all right, let's hear what y'all got to say about this one right here, man. I mean, talk to me. Let me see who I got on the call.
We're gonna get to something else.
Right here, and there's a few brothers that had you winning 2-1 because we got 3 rounds. So they gave Ali 2-1 the last time we was up in here. Brother Lai is one of them. He's in the chat. I see Brother Lai. So yeah, man. Let me ask you another question.
True.
Remember, if I ask you anything that you feel that you can't answer right now, we could pass it.
Yes, sir.
If we did not come from Africa, how do you explain all of the artifacts and building which is related to the transatlantic and slave trade?
Yeah, that's
like
a good question.
The plantations, the slave ships, etc.
Yeah. Well, some of that is you got to verify it. But here's what I want to do. I want to help the audience so they can study. Get some books, right? Get some books. That's one. All right. Now, when you start talking about the slave trade,
Put the book up again. Put the book up again.
here we go. This is one. I'll show you several of them because I mean, there's more than this that's important. All right, you see this?
Yeah.
It's another one you need to get right here. See that?
Can't see the name. All right.
Okay, so those are two preliminary books. There's a whole bunch of other ones. Now, when you start talking about the slave trade, you are talking about a very complex thing. Like I said in my prior discussions, I wrote this book in 2012 to tell you that our view of the slave trade is absolutely erroneous in the common masses of the people, amongst the common masses. The slave trade, as far as the Atlantic slave trade, started by Negroes being taken from the Americas and the adjoining islands back to Europe. That's phase one. So you cannot. This is not even before the Portuguese began bringing people or anybody across the Atlantic. It started.
I need you to say that one more time. Say that again.
Yeah, Negroes. Matter of fact, let me do this. Because there were two types of Negroes during the slave trade period. There were Negroes de Guine, and I don't mind giving this information out. It's okay. This is rudimentary.
I got this pulled up. Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Here we go. Right here. Boom. There go Negro de Guine and Negro de Terra. All right. Now he about to tell you what it means. No, I'm glad I pulled this up. Negro de Guine, Negro de Terra. All right. Two different people. All right, Ali, go ahead. Let me know if y'all can still see this, man. It just did something weird.
Negroes de Guine, which means Negroes from Guinea, which was a name they used from Africa, and Negroes de Terra. So the people who were doing the exploring, Columbus, other people, Verrazano, they made distinctions between types of Negroes in Africa and America. But the Negroes de Terra were the first batch of the slave trade being taken from America back to Europe. That's how it started. That's important.
Now, you know why I asked you that? Because I remember hearing Dane Calloway say the same thing.
He stole that from me.
Oh, he stole that from you.
He stole that. Matter of fact, I can go with Dane Calloway stealing ideas from me. Like, he is a young boy in the Aboriginal movement.
Yeah, you've been doing this way before he was even on the scene.
But I big him up for attempting to bring information. It's just the quality of a person's character gets diminished when they don't cite their sources. And he knows for a fact that nobody on earth was saying this like I was saying it. There was no one before me saying that. Now, there was evidence being presented by authors, right? This is one of them right here. All right, I can give you this author. There you go. Jack Forbes. Now, this is secondary. This is not primary. The primary are the Jesuit letters that talk about what I'm talking about. So what I'm seeing is that our people are not well read. And if that is a surprise to you, there's no way you can defeat me in a debate. No way. It's impossible. That means that your level of readership is too low. I'm a bibliophile, bro. I've been reading since I was 3 years old. I've written 33 books. And these are not books that don't have table of contents and don't have indexes. These are bibliographies, indexes, table of contents, themes, etc. Because a lot of people say they wrote a lot of books. No disrespect to them. Dr. York or Polite, their books are not up to standard. I'm talking about well-written books. This is a well-written book right here. Read it.
How can they get that? How do the people get
Anybody who wants to get anything from me can go to my IG, godbody.og. I got the link tree to everything that I'm discussing. Godbody.og. So you'll find the website. So Negroes were being taken from America back to Africa before any Africans was being taken from West Africa into South America, the islands, or North America.
Okay. What about the enslaved Africans who said we are from Africa, like Harriet Smith, Phyllis Whitney?
There were West Africans who
Josiah Henderson.
Yeah, there were people, but when you start comparing the numbers, I'll give you an example of how we need to look at this. W.E. Du Bois tried to say that over 12 million Africans were brought here. W.E.B. Du Bois, you're going to have a problem if you start dealing with stats. This is stats. W.E.B. Du Bois, great man, but he was absolutely wrong. There were not more than, there was less than 400,000 Africans who were brought to North America. Less than 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
According to what they have. Now, what you also have to understand is that whites were slaves too. Whites were slaves in North.
Hold on, wait a minute. That's what I was ready for that. Because, like I was telling the sister, 388,000. Like he said, less than 400,000. All right, we all telling the same story, bro. Only about 388,000. That's right, a tiny percentage diagram of the slave ship from the transatlantic slave trade, right? In the 17th and 18th centuries, more than 300,000 white people were shipped as to America as slaves. So it's this percentage of them that was non-white, right? And I'm telling you, most of the time, just like the freaking jab, this stuff comes along, every 100 years, right? And whatever the agenda is, they make you want it. These people got on this motherfucking ship. They wanted to get on the ship to get away from the slavery they was going through. All right. What's up, Tierra? Talk to me.
What up, though? I'm back.
Okay.
I got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm gonna be in and out, but I'm here.
You good? You good? Oh, wait a minute. I gotta pull this back up. What was it?
What was what?
And I just heard another boop come in. Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna keep going with the brother for a minute. Let me know when you get your bearings when you want to say something. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But he going in right now. I finally found it.
South Africa and parts of West Africa. So some of the people who are coming on slave ships were white. So when you look at we have this romantic idea of
I just showed that too.
Slavery. The romantic idea is reparations, genocide, and those things are partially true. But I can stand here before you right now and say that certain groups of white people can make the same claim. Genocide, reparations, all these things. So we have to grow and mature our view up as we gain more wisdom and knowledge. And all I'm saying is our community are like children. We have to be wise enough to present the sources, to raise them up to a level of consciousness. And then when we're there, then we can start discussing history, genetics, law, politics. Ignorant people cannot problem solve. So white people were enslaved in Africa. That's important. That's huge. You need to know that. You also need to know.
Say that again.
White people were enslaved in Africa and also are a part of the African slave trade.
Now, were they enslaved before the Africans?
They were enslaved during the time and before.
Oh, okay.
The word slave comes from the Slavic people. Slave and Slavic. The Slavic people is white. That's what I'm saying, man. The language kind of fucks up history. So you gotta, if you're dealing with history, you're gonna have to look at the language at the time that it was used. Like we looked up the etymology of African. We seen at the time that it was used in 1815 when slavery was at its peak. That was referring to white people, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now let's take it back to Kemet.
Let's take it back
because real quick, I want to ask you this because Jabari says no. I think Reggie said no, but Shaka Utmost brought this out, and this what brought Shaka and Jabari into a wild attack on the information, where Shaka wanted to go at Jabari and Garfield. Garfield and Jabari denied it. Shaka said that the ancient Egyptians owned slaves and had slaves.
Shout out to Rick James. He's right. We are more slaves now than our ancestors ever would. And like I said, we're moving the evolution chart, we moving in reverse. We going towards the monkeys. We becoming the monkeys.
Yeah,
During the
the
time-
ancient Egyptians designed the systematic operations of slavery in Africa.
Jabari denied it.
Or
Jabari denied it.
Look, let me say something. This is why I said what I just said to you. The ancient Egyptians did not only design the systems of slavery, they were foreigners to that area. They came from another area into the Nile Valley. So the question is, where did they come from? Some people are saying they came from the South. If you say they came from the South, and you were saying the pyramid texts are the classical texts of Egyptian literacy, you don't even read the pyramid text. They didn't say they came from the South. Where did they say they came from?
Hold on, Reggie.
Now, bring them in. Let's go. Bring them in.
No, Reggie with you. Reggie rolling with you. Reggie with you.
Not everything.
But my brother,
No.
this is my elder and my brother, so good to see you, brother.
Yeah. But listen, I do think that Dr. Ali Muhammad, Chief, has way more information to deal with this subject than his opponent, right? I don't agree with all things, of course, with the Chief, right?
You didn't call me Ali. You ain't got to call me
Ali.
Ali.
My brother Ali. But I do think that my brother Ali has way more information from a multidisciplinary to win this debate. I don't agree, for the record, I don't agree with a lot of his hypotheses.
Let's just get into the debate, man, because this is basically the debate, bro. Hold on. This is the debate.
Will be lost. That is what our ancient African ancestors began to do. But when you mature, you no longer need someone to write your name for you. You go seeking your name. You go seeking your history. You go seeking your culture. And I believe, family, that is the period that we're in. We're at a point where we're beginning to reconnect ourselves in some meaningful ways to the continent of our origin. And that is powerful. So these movements that are saying, well, we're not African, concern me, particularly because they are usually done without any connection to any primary, secondary, or tertiary evidence. I hope that Dr. Ali Muhammad will provide some of that tonight. But I've watched, I'm embarrassed to say how many videos I've watched from folks in the Aboriginal community and conversations I've had with folks who are in the Aboriginal community. And I've
Shout out to Rick James again, man. I see your comments. Yeah, Rome is a part of it, but it's a big three. It's Rome, Greece, and Egypt. All right. So this brother right here is basically like a Egyptologist. I hate to call him that because that's the best word I can use right now. So, you know, you're gonna have to take on all three. All three of them are on the back of that dollar. You know what I'm saying? So this was a unification. When they talk about unifying Upper and Lower Kemet or Upper and Lower Egypt, this is Rome unifying with Egypt, becoming a superpower. This is where the cabal starts at, right? This is some old ancient history right now. All right. So
I realized that, particularly as a historian family, as a trained historian, I realized that many of them, and this is not a disrespectful comment, this is a comment of concern for people in my community. Many of the people in that community don't have.
Because, yeah, shout out the architecture. Yeah, that's a part of it because these are Freemasons. So these people love to build, they love to create. So, you know, the pyramids, you know, and different architecture in Rome and Greece. And now all coming together in America, you know, for this one world order, one world takeover.
Have a fundamental grasp on history. And so they make claims that are untethered from any articulation of history whatsoever. All you need to do is pull one thread and the entire cloth tears itself asunder. And so that is where we're at. That is why Jabari will continue to push against people who do that. And you know, family, that for a long time, our people were saying, well, you know, my grandmother had straight hair and a straight nose because she was Indian. People would say that. continually. And now that we've gotten into the realm of DNA studies, we are now able to articulate that most of what we were seeing is actually a remnant of a painful period. The enslavers' access, sexual access, rape of our women.
You got 2 minutes, brother Jabari. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead, brother.
Traits that we see are not Aboriginal. Those traits are actually things that we see that come from us from the European. And so I know that's painful and we like to describe it as something else, but I'm going to show you some information tonight from people who are experts in DNA that will show you that that is where it comes from and describe the importance of understanding that. Finally, as I close, I want to say that I don't think that Dr. Muhammad has a clear understanding on the history of Africana studies. Some of you know that I am a graduate of Cornell University. Cornell University established the first Africana Studies Center in the country. So I am really ensconced in the Africana Studies movement.
Are you sick of having issues with your
Because these people will tell you, man, Freemasonry started in Egypt. And then, you know, I look at them crazy like, that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? This is like mind manipulation of just natural human beings, bro. We just are natural human beings at the end of the day, right? So get to the origin of this
day, and I hope that
basically population control, because why would you want to kill out subservient slaves? That makes no sense. The rebellious people now, them the motherfuckers need to watch out.
Dr. Ali Muhammad simply recognizes that perhaps he was unfamiliar with the field when he made the comments that he did. So that's what I'd like to do. And I hope that Dr. Muhammad will respond to these comments. I truly believe that he is a person that has intellectual rigor. So I think that as we have this dialogue, perhaps there'll be some things that we can come to agreement on this evening. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my brother Jabari. Before we bring on Dr. Ali Muhammad, family, let's give these brothers a thumbs up. They are here with you on a Friday night. They could have been doing something else, but they chose to come out here and give y'all this love, this information, this consciousness. I noticed that shirt my brother Dr. Ali got on. He wore that today, baby. He wore that today. Feathers up, getting it in. And let's get these thumbs up and these likes up, family. Without any further ado, Dr. Ali Muhammad, the time is 9:32. You got 10 minutes, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Peace, family. Most of the audience is pretty familiar with me for being on Sinetta. If you're not familiar with me, you know that I operate within a jurisdiction called the Aboriginal Republic of North America. And my primary orientation into Black consciousness or some form of consciousness was via the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his various ministers, Minister Farrakhan, Mr. Salis Muhammad, and all of the brothers who represent the origin of that particular movement. My conceptual framework for Aboriginality comes from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the first question of what we were asked in our rites of passage is, who is the original man? And the answer that we were given is the original man is the Asiatic Black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. That was the conceptual framework to give us a concept of who we are in our identity at its most in its purest form. All right. And when we say original man or original woman, we're talking about and we'll use this term because we have to be careful with these terms and what they mean, but we're talking about the original human of this planet Earth. And we're saying from that paradigm that we, the people who you're looking at now, me, Sinetta, Jabari, other people who are labeled as African American, some people who are labeled as African on the continent, we're saying that we are the original people. We are the first humans. We have been here on this planet longer than anybody or any of the other biodiverse forms of humans. And we're also saying that the institutions that, I'll just use the term Eurasians, the institutions that the Eurasians have set up in Africa, in America, have been constructed to intentionally deceive us about our history. So I'm going to do one thing now. I want to show a picture. All right, and this picture is going to be something that we can use to show how flawed we are. Jabari just said something about phenotypes. I guess, you know, some of these people who are Indians are showing phenotypes. I don't represent those people. I'm not an Indian. All right. I'm not a person who is attempting to say that our people have no genetic connection to the peoples that we are talking about on the continent of Africa. I'm not saying that. I'm not that classification of people. What I am saying is when we start talking about phenotypes and what people look like and showing things, and then saying that there has been an insurgence of European genetics that have given rise to a phenotype, this is a Fulani woman. The Fulani, if you want to call it ethnic group, is the largest ethnic group in Africa, and it covers from West Africa all the way to East Africa. If you look at her features, which you'll find throughout different Fulani groups, especially in the region of Senegal and other places, you'll see a certain type of nose, a certain type of lips. And so what some people automatically do is infer that someone who has this phenotype must be an admixture. And what we don't understand is that according to geneticists, especially in West Africa, the Fulani have the least amount of admixture, but they have what we call hawk-like features. But these features can change. You can go to Uganda, and in Uganda, the features are a little bit different than what we experience in West Africa amongst the Fulani. And so what I'm saying is when we start making statements and start having these particular types of concepts, some of them are outdated. If we show some pictures from the 1800s of someone, and we're saying that they're Native American and they might have features, some people might say, well, those aren't African features. What is an African feature? What are these things that we're saying? So let me backtrack a little bit so I can stay on point and get to what I want to talk about today. First of all, I want to talk about when we say Aboriginal people, we are talking about the people who are the autochthons of any particular space on this earth. When I say autochthons, I'm talking about the first people in that particular area. And of course, if we're going to look back in time, we have a lot of different ways to try to figure that out. And those people established cultures and left records. They left epigraphy. They left monuments. And so an anthropologist's job is to go into these particular cultures, go into Cholula, go into the Great Pyramid, go to these areas and say, who are these people? Often, when we start talking about localizing who we are, we mentioned Nubia just now. How many people here can actually genetically trace themselves to groups of people in Nubia, in East Africa? We can honor another indigenous and Aboriginal civilization that's on a really big continent. But when we say that's our people, what do we actually mean? Like, we are way far away from Nubia, right? We have a way different current relative culture. We have some indigenous themes that are very similar across large borders. But when we say our people, what are we saying? How is a people formed? 30,000 years ago, was there a Wolof? Of course not. But now, within the last few thousand years, or in the context of a few thousand years, we have a people who are called Wolof. How do we change over time? What are the things that are absolute about culture, and what are the things that are relative? I think that the Pan-African paradigm, in its origin and synthesis, was played with some very viral type of educational pins. And those educational pins have survived to this day, and that the culture that we are being brought is becoming more and more pseudo and superficial. It does not solve our problems. It does not address our issues that we have. It's often moving more towards a feel-good religion for people who can celebrate something because they have been made to feel like over generations after.
I'm gonna let this play, but I'm gonna find I got Jabari line about the Jesuits, man. I just now remember that. I'm gonna try to find that real quick while this played.
The slavery that they were nothing. And so this feel good energy where we grab Ankhs, and none of our ancestors are actually from Egypt. If you want to deal with the actual genetic studies on where the origins in their nomenclature of genetics, where we generally come from, ancient Egypt is not mentioned. There's no mention of Northeast Africa and the origins of African Americans. That is an adoption of a culture of a people who have the same color skin complexion, who had a very powerful classical civilization. And so when we start dealing with who we are as the people, our people today have developed their own culture here in America. All right. And I would propose that the most powerful culture that has ever been presented to us as a people in our relative circumstance to adopt even facets of it, even if you weren't a part of the organization, was the first man to call us Aboriginals. And that was the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so in his ideology, in his model, he saw a global network of original people who were connected scientifically, biochemistry, and based on biochemistry. He also saw that we had lost a lot of knowledge that we had in later or earlier epochs of time. And that with the onset of these other mutants, that's all we can call them, Eurasians, that the invasions and the other things broke us. Kemet was put in a suitcase by Greco-Romans, all right? West Africa was put in a suitcase by the French, the Portuguese, the British. So it was something that we need to study in cultures. We don't just adopt old cultures because we had them. If they had facets of them that were not able to survive the colonization, this is something that we need to study so that we can make and adopt the changes that are necessary, and so that it is successful. And so when I come to Aboriginal culture, I'm going to talk about a lot of what was here in America that is ignored. What became popular to us is what the people wanted to become popular to us.
Dr. Ali, you got another minute, my brother. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And so when I look at what they're calling Indian culture, and we start rolling it back in time, and we look at the genetics, we look at the epigraphy, we look at the so-called Mayans, we look at the so-called Olmec, we look at the southeastern tribes in the United States of America, we look at the Gullah Geechee, we look at the names that the chiefs amongst the Gullah Geechee call themselves. These terms are indigenous. Where did they learn these things from? I want to talk about that and how that is a broken history, and most of the people in the Pan-African paradigm are not open to some very detailed study that can help us see a broader picture of our Aboriginal paradigm on this planet.
All right. So, family, there you have it. Let's get some likes in the building.
All right, we didn't let Jabari go. I'm sorry. Y'all know how I feel about Jabari. I like the brother. I like that he's a contrarian all the time. We need people to be, antagonists. All right, so I think I found it. Jabari just straight up lying about the Jesuits. All right, we talk about the Jesuits' letters, right? And these Aboriginal people that was here in Amaru, right? America. I think I found it. So let's go. Hold on.
Archaeologists in Argentina. And so because it was found below a pre-Encinadian it's like a block of limestone that would denote that it's probably about 1.5 million years old. Then Amageno began to use that. Now, if you don't know Florentine Amageno, he was someone who was into phylogenetics, and they give him partial credit for the development of that system. But because he was also saying what I'm saying at the time, that the antiquity of these things and these fossils that I'm finding are in certain stratia of the earth, they sent people over there with him to test him. And I have all of that listed in my book. I didn't get a chance to go through all of that. So with that particular find, I would say no, because of the provenance in that find. When we get something that's found, there's a archaeological report that's done on that particular thing. And so the skull that was denoted to this particular thing, it doesn't have a provenance find. There are others that do. And so most of the book that most people will come across is from the book by Michael Cremo, Forbidden Archaeology. There's some pseudo stuff in there and some real stuff in there. But a person who is pro-evolution to the point where they're pretty much in high agreement with the consensus of how Europeans will present that, they will take Michael Cremo's work and look at the pseudo stuff that he presents in it and not the other stuff. And you don't do that as a scholar. You look at the whole thing, which is what Jabari is doing with the Jesuit letters and the Ecostone. So let's go back to this Jesuit letters. Jabari put on the screen,
here we go,
that the Jesuit letters had Negroes from Guinea. That's one. And Negroes de Terra. That was American. Now, inside of the Jesuit letters that I show in the book and that Jabari posted in the debate, Jabari just said the Jesuit letters did not say they were black. You know what? You're partially right, you rhetoric two-stepping. You're partially right, because they didn't use the word black. They used the word Negro, which means black. Bruh, are y'all actually sitting on this panel?
Show it again, Ali. Show your slide again. Let's see.
Come on,
Let's go.
Let's go back to exactly what.
Let me see what you're talking about, because Jabari just did a good job with his. Let me see if you can combat that.
Nah, bro. I'm about to
this
go
for the whole contest right here. Let's see. Everybody can see this clear as day. This one little piece right here. We ain't even got to talk about that for this. I seen what you did, Jabari. I'm agreeing with Jabari.
Yeah.
Now, what you doing?
You can agree with whoever you want to agree with, but I'm about to show you what he showed and what I have in the book.
All right, go ahead. Let me see what you did.
How the fuck is this possible?
That sounded crazy, yo. That's funny. That's
bro,
funny,
bro, what is he like? Jabari, he turned out to be a whole liar, bro. Like, I mean, I thought we were having a debate.
I'm a liar.
You went to just straight, I'm a lie.
I'm a liar,
man.
Hold on, that's where you went. Hold on, let me pull up exactly what you showed.
Hey, Ali.
Because this you're not making any sense, brother.
Oh no, I'm about to make sense. Just give me a second. Don't try
Let's
to
see, Agent Barr. Let's see if we can change that magical slide. Let's see.
No,
We watch
shit. I'm about to go right back to the Jesuit letters and read that part about
what language were the Jesuit letters?
And read that part about Negroes de Guan. All right, here we go.
All right, let's see.
So now,
Let me see.
On my book, if I can't share somebody got to share what I'm showing.
I can't. Where's that? I don't see you. Where you at? You
I'm right here. I got my book up and I'm on page 48.
All right, go ahead. Hit the screen share to present.
All right, so let me present. Share screen.
Hey, go ahead.
All right, window. Oh yeah, it came up. All right, bingo.
All right, where's that?
So now.
All right, here you go. There you go.
This is me quoting the Jesuit letters.
All right, read it
at
slow.
the bottom of his screen. Hold on.
Make it larger.
Wait. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Did you make it larger so we can read
it? I'm trying to make my point because
I'm asking you to make it larger so we can read it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I want to read it.
We about to make it real big because you had this quote at the bottom of your page right here. Right? And you can see my source, number 15. I'm gonna show you exactly where I got it from because you was quoting from somewhere. Okay, I got Africans and Native Americans right here, and I had some Ibis in here. But this source is from Africans and Native Americans, the same place they get.
Right,
so now I don't even know how Jabari just said the Jesuit letters did not say they were black because right here they're talking about Africans and calling them Negroes and Indios. Then it says when Africans are referred to in the Jesuit letters, they are always called Negroes de Guan, Black of Guinea, to distinguish them from Negroes de Terra, blacks of the land of the Americas. That's just one point. Like, bruh, how can you just
wow.
If you go back and you said the Jesuit letters did not say they were black, bruh, what are you talking about?
Wow.
You know what? And I'm gonna go to the Ecostone now. But Jabari, my dear brother Jabari, you need to stink. You need to stink in that damn seat. You are a bro. Now I know. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. I did not interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't say nothing.
So let me respond. Now you're going.
No. I didn't say nothing. Let me finish my point. because you're gonna sink in this seat right now.
Damn.
Just wait. Let me finish. This brother just said five minutes ago that the Jesuit letters did not say they were black. He put the same thing on his presentation screen that I'm showing right now.
Scroll the paper down real quick.
Can I please
No,
respond?
I'm not finished. I'm not finished
He's
because I was
saying the same thing. Son,
no, you're not going to do that. See, now you're being, so let me tell you what's happening now.
Ali an assassin, bro.
Let him finish, because you know you don't want to finish.
See, now what's happening now is it's not just fun and games. You're getting disrespectful because you a liar.
Nobody's
That's what you're getting disrespectful for. And so now what I just did is Tabari showed this on his screen during the presentation. I have it in my book. I just said it. I'm showing the exact same thing. And this brother said that the Jesuit letters did not say that the Americans were black. Brother, they saying it right here in front of your face. You are a liar, bro.
That's the first time you said this.
No, I did not interrupt you, bro.
Sonetter.
No, bro, don't call Sonetter. I didn't call Sonetter when you was talking.
Stop.
I didn't call Sonetter when you was talking. Let me finish my point.
You said the same thing.
So yeah, he gonna just keep driving home. But I feel like it's good that he keep driving home because why you just these people just straight up lie, bro. And shout out to Rick James again, man, for that Bible. But I see the way you spelt it, right? You spelled it with the B-Y-E, right? So look, what if you take that, right? What if you use the B-I? You're just not gonna let me do this, huh? I just can't type B-I. There you go. By, meaning both, meaning two, right? Then you keep that bull, right? Like you got the Bible, right? You keep the bull, then it's two bulls. It's like it's two testaments, two of every animal had to get on. It was Cain and Abel, it was Adam and Eve. Every story is involving two people. You know what I'm saying? For the duality of this world, for your Bible, your Bi meaning two, your bull for the two bull gods of this earth, right? Sun, moon,